Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a fantastic day. This is actually the second in-depth candle review that I am sharing today. If you missed the first review, I will link it in the description box down below. I am currently trying to get out all of the initial post-burn reviews for both the Kringle Boo Crew as well as Spellbound collections, which are launching next week on August 15th at noon Eastern, which makes it 9 a.m. out here on the Pacific Coast. So yeah, I'm really excited for this particular launch. The candle that I reviewed this morning was the Ghost Stories fragrance. I really love that one. Ghost Stories actually kind of a little bit reminded me of a Bath & Body Works fragrance, and actually the same for this one. And the Bath & Body Works fragrance that I am thinking of is 10 years old at this point. I'd love to know if some of you remember it. So I have a reference point for this one, but here's the thing. I didn't really like this one post-burn, and it was specifically because it reminded me of this Bath & Body Works candle from back in the day that just for whatever reason did not translate well to my nose once I actually lit the candle up. I liked this fragrance more so on cold sniff than I do post-burn. I really thought that I would end up getting backups of all of the Boo Crew fragrances, but I think I'm gonna leave this one for you guys. You might be interested in it. Listen, your nose might not get what I'm getting, but I'm just gonna put it out there in case we usually have a lot of the same opinions about certain fragrances. Hopefully this is helpful to you to make a decision whether you want to pop this one in your cart or not. So anyway, I'll go ahead and link where you can purchase this starting on August 15th in the description box. If you want to get this or any of the other fragrances from the Boo Crew or Spellbound collection or whatever is left over from the classic Black Jar Halloween collection, you can use my discount code Melanie15, and like I said, if you don't have any rewards, that'll at least save you 15% off of your purchase. So without further ado, let's dig into bobbing for apples, which for me is, this one's a pass. So I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this one after it goes live. So let's go ahead and dig in. I'm gonna go ahead and start by reading through the top, middle, and base notes, and then I'm gonna tell you what this one reminds me of. All right, the top notes here are tangy apple, juicy pineapple, and creamy peach. The mid notes are sun-kissed melon, intoxicating hyacinth, and sugared amber. At the base, we have earthy applewood, vanilla crystals, and sensual musk. All right, so this actually reminds me of Bath & Body Works Apple Flower. Now, I had to go through my candle reviews and try, because at first I couldn't remember the name of the darn candle. I knew it reminded me of something, but it took me a good 20 minutes to hunt it down in all of my like older Bath & Body Works videos, but this reminds me of Bath & Body Works Apple Flower. Apple Flower came out, I think it was probably 10, maybe even more years ago at this point. And Apple Flower was one that I thought was kind of nice on cold sniff, but for whatever reason, when I was burning it, it kind of turned into this weird, almost kerosene type of fragrance. I just didn't like it when it was burning. And even though the notes for bobbing for apples are really nothing like the notes for Apple Flower, I feel like this smells so much like that Apple Flower when it's burning. So let's kind of go through each of these notes to see if anything that's listed here is actually what I'm smelling. So the top notes of tangy apple, juicy pineapple, and creamy peach. I do actually smell a sweet apple note in here, but I do not smell any pineapple and I do not smell any creamy peach at all. It is mostly just a sweet apple note, and it definitely gives some sweetness to the fragrance, more so than the level of sweetness that was in apple flower for sure. The mid notes, sun-kissed melon. I don't really get a true melon here. The intoxicating hyacinth. Okay, this this is where I think that this hyacinth, for whatever reason, it smells like an apple blossom to me. It really does. It kind of reminds me a little bit also of the DKNY Red Delicious perfume. Did anyone ever wear that particular DKNY apple fragrance? I actually like that perfume. I don't own it anymore. I got rid of it a long time ago because it kind of like got a little sick of it. I kind of miss it now, but I'm not going to repurchase it. But this kind of smells very similar to that perfume. The perfume was prettier and didn't give me this kind of weird, like, it really is almost like a kerosene vibe. It's really weird. But anyway, back to this hyacinth. No, I don't get hyacinth. This actually smells like apple blossom to my nose. Sugared amber. I don't know that I really detect much amber in this one, to be honest. Sugared or otherwise, I'm not really getting amber. Now, at the base, we have earthy applewood, vanilla crystals, and sensual musk. I do think that there is a, like, almost sweet muskiness at the base of this one that I definitely detect. I do think there is a reference to the apple wood, which makes it a little different from the apple flower, but still, I'm still getting that weird kind of burnt, I feel like it's kerosene. If you have ever smelled this type of note before, like, is there a better way for me to explain it? It really does just smell like kerosene. I'm sorry. There's no other way for me to describe it, but I do smell a little bit of that apple wood mixed in there, so it adds a little bit of woodiness at the base. The vanilla crystals, I don't know. Overall, I think that this is coming across as more of like a floral apple type scent to my nose. Not necessarily perfumey, but like an apple blossom type of scent. It is not what I was hoping for with this one. Honestly, looking at the label, I feel like this would be a great, just straight up apple scent, like a fruity, sweet fall apple scent, right? Maybe a mix of some Macintosh, some Honeycrisp, some Fuji, I don't know. Get a mix of like sweet apples and just start blending those together and create like a true like basket of apples type of scent. I feel like that is what this should have been. I know it's definitely, you know, meant to be a Halloween fragrance, and so, you know, adding some things to it to make it a little bit different is, you know, a good thing to do, obviously. But I think what this turned into for me was just something that came across way more floral and just for whatever reason to my nose smelled really off. That doesn't mean that that is what you're gonna experience with this one, but if we typically share a lot of the same opinions on, you know, a variety of different fragrances, maybe this might be one worth skipping from this collection. I mean, if you really like the label, I would say go for it. It is a cute label. It's got, you know, a few different kind of forest creatures and then just an alligator, which I don't know. I don't think they live in the forest. They live in the swamp. Different. But anyway, it's a cute label, right? Like, I love it, but would I repurchase more of this just for the label? No, this fragrance really just doesn't do it for me overall. So the scent itself, that's a womp womp for me. I will say the performance has been fine. I can certainly smell that kerosene all over the ground floor of the house today, I tell you what. It's also, let's talk strength and throw here. It's a decent thrower. I would say that the strength is a pretty solid 7. The first burn, I would almost say, was closer to like an 8. It was really strong on the first burn. And then the second burn, it mellowed out. This is actually the start of my third burn here. So you can see that I wouldn't say a third of the way there, but I'm getting there with this one. By the way, I am burning all of these candles at minimum 8 to 10 hours, 2 separate burns. I know these aren't like my usual reviews, but I have a little bit of a shorter time frame here to get these reviews out prior to the launch. So I'll continue to update you, obviously. But yeah, so strength, pretty solid 7. Throw, I mean, listen, it's strong enough to where I can smell this throughout the downstairs here, and I'm not really loving it. I will say our neighbor Andy was here like the first time that I burned this, and he didn't get like that kind of burnt kerosene smell. I'll have to ask Craig and my daughter to see if they do, but I mean, I feel like I'm the only one that has had a negative reaction to it in the house as of now, so I might be in the minority here. So anyway, for what it's worth, it's decently strong. The burn has, I've had no issues so far. This is why I am so comfortable reviewing these so early on in the process here. Typically, I like to wait until the halfway point to review a candle, but usually these Kringle 2-wick tumblers in their soy formulation, I don't have burn issues with these. The wicks here are fine. They're not going to form huge carbon balls. You're not going to want to trim these wicks on the first burn. I said this in the earlier video, but if this is your first ever Kringle candle purchase, you're going to get a candle with very long wicks. Don't trim those wicks. They are self-adjusting. So just light that candle up when you get it and allow those wicks to go. But on these subsequent burns, you are going to want to trim off just a little bit off the top of that wick there. Like I said, with this one, you're not going to have huge carbon balls that form, but it's definitely going to require some trimming. I don't think this is burning overly hot. I thought maybe that could have been the issue with this one, because I kind of feel like that might have been the issue with a Bath & Body Works one like 10 or 11 years ago now, was that it was just burning super, super hot. And that was essentially like burning the fragrance oils, if you will, and just making them smell kind of off. But I don't feel like this is burning hotter than any of the other candles. So I just think maybe this particular blend of fragrance oils are just not suited to my nose, and that's fine. Not everything is meant for me, and that's okay. I would love to know what you guys think of this one after you pick it up, if you do decide to get it. Come back and let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I will say the rest of the candles in this collection, they've been amazing. Really amazing, delicious gourmands in this lineup here. And if you didn't get what you were looking for in the fall release, I kind of feel like they saved all the gourmands for this one. So anyway, for what it's worth, those are my thoughts on the Bobbing for Apples fragrance. So anyway, I will have the link for the first video that I did in the description box down below. If you missed it, feel free to check it out. More of these reviews coming over the next several days, so stay tuned. Let me know if you have any questions. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.